So in this tutorial we're going to cover adding properties to the property portal. You'll see we have three windows open. In the top left we've got the property as it is on Owners Direct with all the details of that property, everything we need, even the photographs, and we're going to grab those in a moment and I'll show you how we've done that. The key thing is we take the images first. And then we've got the property backend, the property manager in the CMS, the content management system. So if you just click there, we've got manage properties, and then the actual front end, the website, how it will be displayed. You'll see as well there's a section at the top there that's yet to be completed, which should have a call to action, such as get in touch, a map, telephone number, that kind of thing, to allow people to get in touch with you. So let's go back to the property website that we're currently using and have a look at the images. Now the key thing for us, for me certainly, is that the images should always be of high quality. Always use a good camera when you can, if not a good quality camera phone, and then take those images, put them into a separate folder on your computer. And you'll see these images here are really good. You know, the quality of the image is good. There's a lot of natural light. The property's clearly been cleaned or staged prior to taking the photographs, which, in my personal opinion, is what you should do. You don't want to see a property with toys and baggage strewn all over the place. The images really help to sell a property or rent a property in this case. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the property portal and add the property. The first thing I'm going to check is, does the city exist in the property portal? And it does, Kosterdeke. The reason I'm doing this is because when you add properties, there are certain fields that are required, and if you do not complete those fields, you can't add the property. So let's go to Manage Properties, and let's add a new property. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put in the property title. Now the key thing here is the property title is what appears at the top of the page. You'll see in this case it says Holiday Lets Tenerife. And if we click on the property in question, the title changes to 2-bed apartment in Kosterdeke, you see. And this is all good for optimization, because if somebody's searching for a 2-bed apartment in Kosterdeke or apartment Kosterdeke, it gives this page more opportunity of appearing at the top of the search results, which is of course is what we're looking for. If you have a look here, we have self-catering 2-bed apartment in the popular Santana Apart Hotel. So we're going to copy all of that, and if anybody's searching for, say, a 2-bed apartment, self-catering, Apart Hotel, Santa Maria, Kosterdeke, all of that will turn up in the search results. And if there are other properties of a similar nature in the same location but not as well optimized, your apartment of course goes to the top of the search results. So let's just paste that in there. Okay, we've got that in, and you'll see that we also have to select a user. Now, this is quite important, because if you don't have a user, you can't publish the property. It doesn't display in the front end if you don't want it to, but you still have to create a user. The portal was and still is used by agencies, so multiple users can be created, multiple users can have multiple properties. So if you're just one agent, one entity, you need to set up a user by creating a company and a user, and then assign that user to the property, even if it's yourself. Other things that we have to set up are the categories for the types of properties. I believe that's under property information. So you just go into categories, create your categories, and then you can select them for the property. The same applies to property types, so you could have for sale, for rent, etc. And you're just going to manage property types and add those there. And let's go down and complete some more information. There are certain key fields that actually need to be completed before you can publish a property. You'll see those marked with an orange asterisk at the right. So we don't want people to call for a price, we want the actual price of the property, which we know is £78 per night in this case, so we put that in, 78, currency is selected, and the price is per night. If the property is approved, that means it will display. We'll set it to featured as well, so it will display in the featured areas of the website, make it available to everybody. Published. We don't need to put an end publishing date, but the key thing here is the address. Now, if we do not put an address in, what will happen is the map will not display. We can put an address in, which in this case we know is at this location. We select the city, even though the state and province has already been selected. And if we select show address, the map displays a pin. If we select do not show address, it simply shows a circle, a rough idea of where the property is. In this case we want to show the address. So we're going to allow people to zoom into the property, even use Google Street View if they choose to. So that's all the basic information put in. And now we're going to put in a little bit more information about the property. We need to know how many rooms there are. I'm going to make an educated guess here. There's 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, so that's 4 rooms in total if we include the lounge. So we have to put in the total number of rooms, how many bathrooms, how many bedrooms, and for the living areas we can put a numeric reference, so we could put 1, or in this case I'm just going to put lounge stroke salon, depending on how people prefer to use that or word that. And that's the core information for the property put in. One more field needed, small description, so I'm just going to take the first sentence out of all this content here. It's a little badly formatted, but we're going to tidy that up in a moment. I'm just going to copy that and paste that in there, and then go in and take the rest of this information. Here we go, right click, copy, and for some reason right click paste isn't available to me, it isn't working, so make sure I've copied it, yep, and go back, still not available, so just use Control V, which is the same as right click and paste. And just going to tidy this up a little bit and put some paragraphs in, make it a little easier on the eye for the user to read. Trying to find some natural breaks in the content as well. There we go. So we've got a good few paragraphs there of information for people to read if they want to learn about the property. You'll see there's not a spelling mistake as such, but Jacuzzi is capitalised because it's a proper name. You can add personal notes at the bottom as well if you choose to. Those are not displayed to the end user. I'm going to save this now before we go any further, and I tend to save quite a lot because I might be taking a phone call or do something else, and before I know it I've lost the property because the session has timed out. Over on the right hand side we've got some information that's pertinent to optimization, the metadata for example. Now this metadata is not displayed to the end user other than the page title, which you'll see at the top of the page here, which also displays as the content title. So if we leave this browser page title blank, it will automatically pick up the property title, which is fine. We can just optimize the property title instead. And you'll see here we've got the amenities, for example general convenience, and without checking I'm pretty sure that this will have a satellite dish, and some other things like microwave, etc., freezer. Now the key thing here is if you leave this section blank, for example appliance amenities or community amenities, it will not display in the front end. So people will not assume that it doesn't have something because they can't see it. It will only display if you click them. You can also add these, but we cover these in a different tutorial. So if you want to add an additional energy saving amenity or exterior amenity, security amenity for example, you can add these quite easily into the back end. And you'll see here we've got neighbourhood as well, so we can let people know how far away the shopping centre is to walk, or the town centre for example, the hospital if they should need it, police station, airport and things like that. And we can add things in here as well if we need to. Generally speaking we don't need to add anything, but if you need to, that's not a problem, we can add those in, it's really customizable. So I'm just going to save this now before I move on to adding the photographs. And this is the nice bit for me because there are so many different ways of adding the photographs. You can just say upload photographs and add photographs individually, so you just click add photo, add photo, add photo, and then choose the file and find the file on your computer. That's one option. Just cancel out of that and then go back into the property. Another option is to batch upload, so you can click choose file and then select multiple files simultaneously using the control key on your keyboard. But by far the most popular is drag and drop. You can simply drag and drop the images. So you'll see here we have select or drag and drop images, and we're just going to select those images without the desktop INI file, of course. Seems to be created by Google Drive, and then just click and drag those across over onto this section here. Oh, must have missed something there. I know. You have to drag and drop the images on top of the button. So there we go, and just drag those, and you'll see the images are queued. All the images are quite small actually. I would recommend images around 1, 2, maybe even 3 megabytes. And the faster internet connection you've got, of course, the quicker these will upload. That's it, all uploaded. And don't see an option here to say okay, everything's done, which is a little bit bad on the developer's part, but I know those images have uploaded, so I'll just click the cross in the top right hand corner, and the page will refresh in the background and you'll see those images are now loading, and you'll get little thumbnails of each image. You can actually also add a description for each individual image should you choose to, because in some of the layouts the property photograph descriptions display, you can also change the ordering. You simply change the ordering number from 1 to 2, 5, 10, whichever you want. And that's it. We'll just click save and close. That property now is finished. Quite quick, quite simple. And we're just going to go to the front end now, and let's find the property. So we'll go into Costa Adeje, and you'll see a map displays with the various properties on. They're both at the same location, otherwise different pins would appear. And you'll see here we've got the self-catering 2-bed, we've got the 2-bed apartment that was already on. So let's open that up and have a look. Let's make sure it's all loaded, all the images are loaded, etc. And that for me is pretty good. We've got the title optimized. We can optimize this a little bit more. We can optimize the description, etc. And we're just going to blow this up to full screen and open the photograph again, and you'll see the photograph will automatically resize to the size of the screen. So that's why I always recommend taking really good quality photographs. If somebody's on a mobile phone, it will reduce in size. If they're on a desktop computer, increase in size and fill up the screen. Photographs really do help sell properties or rent properties. For me, I would always go back, take new photographs of a property every few months. And that's pretty much it. That's the property added. You'll see the short description is there. There's also a more detailed description, nicely broken up with the paragraphs separated. All the features are there, all the details of the property, the amenities, and as I mentioned, if you don't complete an amenity, it doesn't display and show people that those amenities are not available. The map is there so people can view where the property is, even jump into Google Earth if they choose to, or Street View. All the photographs. These layouts can be changed as well. There are different themes in the back end. I think there are about 7 or 8 themes and related properties at the bottom there as well. So that's pretty much it. It's all done. The property's up there, and from there we can optimize and we can tinker with the content, etc. You see this property is displaying in the front end as well. Probably need to reduce that short description slightly and bring that grey box down so it just displays a little neater in the front end like this one. But other than that, all finished.